The next fight. Commonwealth heavyweight title. The man that currently holds it's Grant Barker. The man that's coming after it is a Canadian by the name of Mike McDonald, and I do know for a fact that they believe Barker cannot kick. They believe that his kicking style in the fights is not good. They say he's vulnerable in that area, and they believe that that could be the area that Mike McDonald can take care of Barker.
Yes, but I hope Mike McDonald doesn't underestimate it. Well, I hope he does, really being an Australian.
87.4 kilos. Dale Floyd is the trainer. 19 fights, 18 wins, KOs 6. He's only lost the one time, and you mentioned the man he had to fight that time. He'll be fighting in the Irish green colours. A bit funny for a Canadian. But, no sign of a maple leaf anywhere. Of course, that's the insignia of Canada. Long way to come to lose.
It is a long way to come. I think this guy, he'll be hopping in the ring to mean business. He means business.
They call him the blonde bomber. Oh, I tell you what, mate, he's flown over Berlin a couple of times, this boy. And of course, ACDC is his trademark. Group. He's got a couple of minders in front of him there.
Well, this is without doubt Grant Barker's biggest test so far in his career.
Very strong. He doesn't have a high muscle tone in the body. He's much more solidly set. He's very similar to Mike Tyson. Not a lot of visual muscle tone, just a lot of power, mate.
And, mate, he's very similar to Dennis Alexia, too, that guy who beat Mike McDonald. So this could be a this will be, I predict, will be a very interesting encounter.
He's got some big boys walking in with him too, I tell you. Barker's very serious about this kickboxing career of his. 91.9 kilos. There is a rumour that there will be a new weight division coming soon into the sport, which will be 91 and below. Barker has already expressed interest in fighting at that. 15 fights, 12 win, 10 KOs. Has tasted defeat, so he knows it's a bitter taste, and I'm sure Mr. Barker will like to walk out tonight a winner. Now, just as a footnote here, or should we say a shin note, there is no shin pads in the heavyweight division. They do have to wear the feet pads, but no shin pads. So I believe there's stories of these guys kicking trees and so forth to get the strength up into their shins.
Well, for those people who saw Kickboxer, that bald guy, the main guy who was hopped in the ring against Dennis Alexia, he was kicking the pylons of this building. So, and of course the building was rocking.
Well, Mike McDonald looking very fit there in the corner. Very, very fit looking.
A very vocal crowd now.
This could be a very boring fight, or it could be a very entertaining fight. It's hard to say which way this will go as the boys go back to the neutral corner.
Well,
the crowd's starting to get behind it.
Depends how much respect they have for each other. If they have a lot of respect for each other, they mightn't get into it.
Well, I think they're backing the wrong game plan at the moment, the McDonald camp, in the sense that they say Barker can't kick well. I think he'd take care of a few mules in his time. You know, the mule, they say, is one of the best kickers around. Well, this guy's no ass. He can kick like the hell. But they come for round one. Boys are straight in. Interesting defence tactics straight away. You can see from McDonald the style of defence he has. It's a crab style of defence. And it'll be interesting to see whether that stays the same for the whole fight. I don't know too much about McDonald at all.
No, he's apparently his record speaks for itself. But very tentative start from both the guys. They do respect each other. Oh, there's some nice handwork by McDonald. Because Barker, this is his biggest test so far in his career, and the way he started. Well,
Barker have had a chance to have maybe a look at some tapes of McDonald fighting style.
I think so. Marie Stratton, I was speaking to Marie Stratton on the phone before this fight, and she was telling me that she rang up Mick Spinks and told Mick Spinks of the incredible record this guy has, especially against Dennis Alexia. Of course, it's not a great record to lose to someone, but he's got the experience, and Mick Spinks said, well, we're just going to have to get down there and do our homework.
Well, we're looking at 10 2-minute rounds, so it's going to be very interesting to see how it pans out. But just at the moment, both fighters are just sort of like standing off. It's very standoffish, isn't it?
Very standoffish.
As I said, mate, this has the potential for being a great fight or the potential for being a very boring fight.
Well, let's hope it explodes, eh? It explodes into action.
We can only hope. We can only hope.
This is McDonald thrusting out that left front kick and then coming around with the right turning kick to Barker's thigh region.
McDonald believes firmly that Barker is not a good kicker.
Well, Mike, from what I've seen of Mike McDonald, he doesn't look overly good at kicking either.
He's elected not to even sit down at this time, so is Barker. He's standing up at the moment. No, Barker sits down, but McDonald elects to stand. As out comes our round 2 sign.
Let's hope Mike McDonald lets go with a few of these more fancied kicks.
Once again, that crab style of defence. Gloves pointed to the canvas, the palm of the hand down towards the canvas. Barker very much more upright, elbows more into the stomach area of the body. Whereabouts you can see now from the back view of McDonald where he has those arms very flat. And the elbows aren't into the body, they're beside the body. He's very confident of his stomach muscles being able to stand up to any sort of punishment.
And they'd have to stand up to quite a bit with one of Graham Parker's kicks landing.
Very well-built fellow, isn't he?
He hasn't got, doesn't seem to have an ounce of fat on him. Of course, any guy who does hop in the ring doesn't normally have any fat on them, but this guy's in superb condition.
The sport in Canada doing quite well, I believe. It's pretty strong throughout the ranks, and of course, this is one of their premier fighters.
They have a couple of world champions in their stables over there too.
Oh, that'll all make well for the coming years of kickboxing in that country, and also for us here in Australia, because we are all in the Commonwealth. This is a Commonwealth title fight. Barker will be looking to hang on to that title, the title which he regathered from Mitch Heller. Actually, when he fought Mitch, he came undone against Mitch, but came back very strongly to take care of Heller. And we see him here tonight.
That was a very important win for Grant Barker to get his career back on the rails.
I think he said he was just mentally not right for that fight. He didn't have the right qualities inside him.
Oh, that's right, mate.
Now, will he call this a knockdown, mate? This is a slip? I think so.
A slip.
And I say dry the gloves and back into it.
But the physical condition, of course, you have to have the correct mental condition too to hop in the ring. And, for me, I think it's crazy to hop in the ring with either of these guys, but these guys can handle themselves very well.
That's completion. Round 2. Now, just a little bit of a warning from the ref. Just giving a few pointers. He's still electing to stand up. Keep those legs moving.
Wonder which round we'll see him
takes
sitting
the seat,
down.
yes. Might be an indication of how tired he is really getting. Graham Barker doesn't even really look to have a sweat up at the moment.
Seconds down, round 3.
Well, both guys haven't done a great deal so far in this fight. There's obviously, as I've said before, a great deal of respect between both of these guys.
Okay, still that same crab style of defence.
Yeah, that's
good front kick.
That's a point for Mike McDonald.
He's very tentative. You can see he crouches and doesn't use his full height.
He's an elusive fighter. He just wants to get out of the way of Grant Barker. He has heard of Grant Barker's
bombs, let's say.
Bombs. Because those two bombs in the hand.
Yeah, Barker region renowned for his strength in the upper body and the fact that he can throw some great punches. And they seem to come from nowhere when he does it.
He's got great speed and incredible power with his hands. And when his feet connect too, they hit hard.
And the boys are working at one another just at the moment. Still, it's a very interesting fight so far. Both fellas are very cautious, and this sort of fight, really, what happens is you get flurries. Greg, you get a situation where some fighter comes on, one of the fighters will come on for a couple of seconds, and then he goes off the boil again and sits back and sort of like controls his game and comes at him again. It's very much a tit-for-tat fighting situation.
Tit-for-tat. These guys are trying to pace themselves. I mean, looking at the size of these guys, especially the size of Barker, they have to pace themselves, otherwise they just won't make the end of the fight. Because it's 10 rounds, 10 3-minute rounds?
Yeah, 2-minute rounds.
2-minute rounds.
Barker's guard still very high on the chin area, keeping his hands well up.
The only kicks I've seen so far from...
McDonald snuck that right through then, got through the guard of Barker.
But Mike McDonald, he thrusts out that right front turning kick and front kick, and then he comes around with the left turning kick, and they're the only 2 kicks I've seen so far in this fight from him. Here he goes again.
A little bit of sweat building up in the back of the shorts here on McDonald, so he's starting to work a little. Still neglects to take the seat. He requires no seat, stands up. Bit of water over him to keep him moist. We get a camera shot now of Barker's corner as we start round 4. We're nearing the halfway mark in this fight.
Powers brings you the fight action here. The 4th round is coming up.
This fight between Alex Toohey and Cash Gill is going to be a classic example of the little man versus the big man. The David versus the Goliath.
Tactics.
Cash Gill is a very, very tall fellow. I'd say somewhere in the 6'3" range, 6'2" range.
Mate, he's a telegraph pole.
Oh, absolutely. Long reach. Toohey's going to have to get in close and work around the abs to bring that guard down and then try and take care of him, because Toohey's only a small man.
Well, Toohey'd be mad to try and kick him in the head, wouldn't he?
He got a step ladder or a milk crate to stand on, because I just don't think it can be done. That's a slip.
Another slip.
So it'll have to be looked into, actually. The slips that are happening tonight are very prominent. Very consistent slips. Oh, he tagged Barker then. Left and right, and then followed it with another right. Barker had to back away in a hurry, but see, McDonald didn't go after him.
No, McDonald, the same as Barker, very tentative at this moment. There's a nice turning kick from Barker, and he moves in.
A little bit of action for the first time in the fight, but straight away, stalemate. Slows it up, ties one another up, and Barker straight back in again, misses with that big right.
Barker beginning to tread on forbidden ground. He's starting to move in a little bit more now. The crowd urging Barker on. I hope he can hear them.
I'm sure he can, mate. I'm sure he can. Anyway, he won't hear him as if he's knocked out. And the chances of that happening tonight are very remote. Okay, drops that right up to the top. You're seeing Barker now trying to find the distance here that he can really get into McDonald and work him. But as we've said, both fighters come on and then they back off again.
Barker, he'll have to start moving in soon. He'll have to start taking advantage of that weight difference he has in his favour.
He's in there at 91.9, so it's right on his weight, fighting weight. He's quite happy at that weight. Maybe a couple of pounds off it, but he's quite happy at that weight. McDonald's fighting a cagey fight. The bell sounds for the completion of round 4. We'll come out with round 5, which will be the halfway mark in this 10-rounder tonight. But so far, very, very...
Well, not much has happened, mate.
Boring fight. I got to say it, mate. I wouldn't like to be in there, but this is a boring fight. This is a boring fight. If some people in the audience go to sleep, I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, I think tactics should be adopted. I think someone has to make a move.
I want to adopt something, mate. They maybe want to adopt a couple of kids each or something and stop fighting, because tonight both fighters are very cagey. They're not really showing what they're really worth. And to come all the way from Canada and fight this sort of fight surprises me.
Oh, it's jet lag, mate. It's obvious.
Barker, the champion. It's up to the challenger to take the fight to the champion. As far as I'm concerned, it's the way any sport goes, whether it's this sport or whether it's running or anything. You are the champion. You've earned that. That's the legacy you have. And as the challenger, you've got to go after it. You've got to go after it. And McDonald's just not doing that at the moment. Untidy. He's called both fighters in and he's warning about the holding. But it seems as though he's come here to survive and not to win.
He's had a first-class trip out in the plane and having a good look at Australia. But look at him, he has obviously worked out. He's a very fit-looking guy. There, he's picking up a bit of pace there.
It seems as though the technique's there, it seems as though the power's there, but it just seems as though the mind doesn't want to coordinate the whole show together.
Yes, mate, he left his mind behind, it seems.
Oh, I'm not going to say that to him. I'll tell you now, I'm not going to say that to him.
Well, I hope he didn't hear me say it.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what, he looked at me when I said that.
Well, they're just coming over the top of us right now, mate, so he might have urged us. Just look out when you try and leave here tonight if you don't get a big backhander.
No, I'll call him sir.
Yeah, absolutely. Sir, absolutely, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, the boys are still sparring away here. This is virtually a sparring match.
Spar.
For both fighters. You kick and then I'll kick. Other than a couple of flurries in those first couple of rounds, we really haven't seen the goods that these two boys really possess.
And Barker has yet to release his fabulous hands. Of course, this guy, all I've seen is a front kick and a turning kick from him. He does a left foot front kick. He's caught Barker a few times in stomach with that. Of course, Barker's stomach region can quite easily absorb that.
He's nowhere as well defined as McDonald. But Barker not really after that sort of shape of his body. He is a very solid Mike Tyson style fighter.
Mike Tyson, Dennis Alexia.
Very much so. Very much so.
But these guys, you can look at, especially McDonald, although they are heavyweights, and it's harder for heavyweights to
that
throw
was
these.
Very heavy. Absolutely. I'd get a sore back if I was out there at the moment. But look, McDonald's there. He seems all ready to rock and roll, and he gets out there and all he does is play B flat.
But the kicks these guys are exhibiting, when you compare them to someone like Steve Vick, but Steve Vick is a lot smaller.
Yeah. Oh, they'd kick Steve Vick over the goalpost.
Oh, they would.
You know.
From halfway, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, he's pushed Barker back there. For the first time in the fight, Barker went backwards.
Barker looking for an opening there, but he can't find one. This guy has good defence.
Oh, yeah, it's a different style of defence. Must be the first time Barker has encountered this style of defence. And like always, it's taken time to work it out, but he just doesn't seem to be able to work it out tonight. It's just not happening for him.
Well, the crowd's trying to urge these guys on.
Barker's doing enough, definitely, to hold the points lead in this fight at this point in time.
He's doing very well.
But,
for a point.
Then what can you say? What can you say? You only got to win the fight. Doesn't matter how you win it.
That's right.
But, I still firmly believe the challenger is the one that's got to take the fight up. The two boys,
Barker missing with a right turning kick. Of course, they come in for a nice little hug there. Nothing happened. See what he does? Mike McDonald, he comes in with that roundhouse kick to Barker's thigh region. He comes in with, oh, there's a nice jab by Mike McDonald.
Oh, he's ducking before he even spun around there. I think he thought, hang on, it's going to hit me. Like, I'd hate to be hit by either of these two boys, but they're just not coordinating it all together tonight. Obviously off their game, and as I said, the challenger's got to do the work, and at the moment Barker is well ahead on points, and that's the way the outcome of this fight's going to go unless McDonald can turn it around and get a little bit more aggressive. Wrong way, Grant. Back the other way.
Maybe
will McDonald sit down? Nope. Says nope. No, I'm standing up all the way.
Trying to psych Grant Barker out. Of course, I don't think it'll work.
Wayne Bridge there is Barker's second, and he's been with Barker from the beginning of all this, along with Mick Spinks, the trainer. And it's good to see that they've been able to hold that team together. Very important, I think, as Barker obviously heads towards a shot at the world title.
Well, the guy who hops in the ring is the spearhead of the team. And of course, Barker has a very good team behind him.
Round 7, both boys coming out with kicks, lefts and rights.
Here's
One kick
Barker.
from Barker, just langing that leg out. And of course we're waiting. I'm waiting for Alex Tui versus Cash the Flash Gill.
Because I can't wait for that fight either, mate.
I'd like to have a fast forward button made at the moment and push these fighters into the fast forward mode. We could do a real quick commentary and we could get to the main bout of the night. But anyway, we've still got ourselves 3 lovely rounds to go here.
It's done nothing for my blood pressure. That is, it hasn't risen at all this fight so far.
I've seen a lot of people going to the bar, so obviously the takings are increasing at the bar. Well, Barker, I should say, missed them with that big right. If it would have connected, he would have lit the Canadian right up.
But nothing has come close from either fighter that could lift anyone up.
Well, just jabbing away once again. Boys aren't really coordinating any sort of styling at the moment.
So Barker's starting to stalk McDonald, but McDonald pushes him away, as the ref indicated.
The funny part is when one fighter does backpedal, the other fighter doesn't come after him with the kill. As Barker's having a go. A bit of action for the first time in the fight. A little bit of sweat happening now in the ring as Barker goes after him. Definitely coming over the top. First time in the fight we've seen some form of action for a duration of a time. And McDonald trying to fight his way out of the corner. Not a good move against Barker. Well, he's connecting, but Barker's going to have to backpedal maybe here. Hangs on a little bit. McDonald getting the better of that exchange to the latter end.
Most exciting part of the fight so far.
Well, mate, if you're excited, I'd hate to buy you a birthday present. That's all I've got to say on that. I'll keep my money in my pocket, thanks.
I'm holding myself back, mate, for the big round 8.
No, I'm glad you said back. Anyway, we're just looking now at round 8. Not a problem. Round 8 is, you said yourself, you're holding yourself back. I'd have to hold myself back there. Well, he still hasn't sat down, this fellow. I don't know what the story is about this walking around, but a lot of sweat now starting to build up on those green shorts. Barker out to the centre of the ring in a big hurry. It's like the rest of this fight, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a big hurry from word go. Okay, round 8. We've got 8, 9 and 10 to go, folks, so stick with us. All right, the boys are just working into it now. As you said before, that was the most exciting part of the fight, mate.
Mate, I just really couldn't control myself.
Yes. Well, these two boys obviously couldn't either. They've gone back to the old vein again. I'll hit you, you hit me.
As if there's a game of tip football applied to the kickboxing ring, this is it.
These two fellas are definitely not taking the fight away, but once again, I can't blame Barker. He's only got to win it. He's the champion. He keeps the belt. And unfortunately, McDonald's got to go after it. McDonald's a classy fighter. I can't understand the tactics that have been adopted by him and his team tonight. In that exchange before, Barker started to get on top, but McDonald was able to counter very, very well.
McDonald's a very, very elusive fighter, and of course Barker's finding it a little bit difficult to lay one on him at the moment.
Well, I don't think we've seen the best of McDonald, and unless he can produce it in these last couple of rounds, I think unfortunately he's going to be back on a plane without a title. Not much money in his pocket, wondering why the hell he came all this way.
A nice trip, mate, on the plane.
I don't know what the time frame is from Canada over here, flying time, but I could definitely spend my time a little better than sitting in an aircraft.
These guys just don't seem to be mixing it at the present time. Barker there thrusting his left foot out. And of course, I don't know why it didn't hit anything. But maybe saving up for a big one. Both these guys are saving up for the last rounds, of the championship rounds of this fight.
Barker now just still pacing. Slip from Barker as the bell sounds for completion of round 8. We've got 9 and 10 to come your way, ladies and gentlemen. And then the big fight, the one we've both been waiting for, and I'm sure that there will be no lack of drama, no lack of style, and definitely no lack of heart in that fight when it comes our way. Cashgill, the defending champion, up against that little man of ours, Alex Tui.
A juggernaut. Alex Tui, I mean, can the Juggernaut keep its momentum up?
I don't know. He doesn't say too much, Alex Tui. I don't know if you've had a chance to speak to him. I spoke to him. He said hello. And that was about it.
No, Alex Tui, they say he's the Clark Kent of the kickboxing ring. Doesn't say much. He lets his actions speak for themselves in the ring.
Look how slow that was then. Barker turned around and actually had his back to McDonald for, I would say, half a second. And McDonald just said, oh, that's a nice back. Let's get around to the front again.
It's tactics, mate. He says, come and hit me. Come and hit me if you can.
Barker tonight has shown me that he is most probably coming of age as a champion. He said, OK, I'll do what I have to tonight. And that's all he's done.
It's been a game of chess. I can liken it to a game of chess. Barker's just done enough to win, I think, or win so far.
These boys were a little bit bigger than Bobby Fischer ever was, mate. I can assure you. I don't know the guy who used to play from Russia, but they used to play for like 5 or 6 hours, didn't they? Or even days at some stages.
That's right.
This fight could have gone on for days, I think. These two boys could have stayed on their feet that long. McDonald comes out, tries to swing after that break, and just not there, mate. The crispness, it's just not there.
McDonald's shown a limited range of kicks. His front kick and of course his left or right turning kick. It's just that's all he's shown. And of course his hands are pretty good. He's elusive. It's been hard for Grant Barker to lay one on him, and that's all I can say about him.
That's pretty much all there is to be said. I don't think there's much else.
There's Grant Barker's laid
there's a
right
bomb.
on him.
Finally a bomb came out from Barker. Now he starts to come after him, but he's tentative in his approach to him. Why get mixed up in all this, Barker says. He just says, I've got the bag, I've got the belt, I'm going to go home with the lot tonight.
Barker's hands are the big danger for McDonald. Of course, Barker's starting to move in on McDonald now. And see how McDonald here, he gets off these ropes. He's on the ropes at the moment. And
Barker's had him here once before and he couldn't take care of it. And once again, McDonald gets out of that corner.
Fights his way out very well. And he's, as I said before, elusive.
The powers of B have not come to these fighters tonight, as Will come out to close this off. Definitely Barker will take the title unless McDonald can pull out a big round 10 and put Barker on the canvas. I think he knows it too, mate. You can see the despondent look upon his face. He realises he's got to go after this.
He's got to pull something out of this round. Of course, Barker, being the champion, just has to go in there and do what he's been doing all fight.
Yep, he'll just be looking to stay out of trouble. Three gives him the last round call. Make sure they understand that. Mick Spinks, give me a couple of last-minute instructions there. Do his boy. He's hard charger.
He's shaking hands for the last time. Listen to that crowd. Barker, Barker, Barker. Come on, Barker, start barking.
Well, I can't believe McDonald. I'd just throw caution to the wind. You've lost the fight, son. Go out there and just give it everything you've got. You'll only get on the plane with a few more bruises. And maybe a belt, if you could put him down. But to come out and just consolidate the fight at this point in time, it's no value.
No, he hasn't got enough time. 2-minute rounds. And of course, less than 2 minutes to go now. And of course, look at him. He's just standing there, waiting for Barker to move in. Barker's just being very composed at this time. And makes it hard for McDonald too to lay one on Barker, because McDonald he hasn't moved in all fight, and of course why start moving in right at the end?
Well, that strategy of thinking that Barker wasn't a good kickboxer in the true sense of the word has gone out the window. Barker's been able to deliver the kicks the same amount, I would say, as McDonald, and I think that was a bad ploy from his camp to come out with that sort of approach to the fight.
McDonald's kicking range is very limited.
He's trying to finish on here, but Barker's once again comes over. He likes his corner this side. He comes over on top of us, and once again, McDonald spins out. Both fighters annul their attacks.
The crowd urging Barker on.
Well, I don't have to, mate. I'd score this. I wouldn't say unanimous. I'd give it a split decision.
Yes, they'd like a bit of action. They'd like more action. They want something to happen, because not much has happened. There's that little flurry earlier on, and the crowd went berserk when that happened, but they've had no reason to go berserk since then.
The photographer's got his camera in the ring, and I don't know what he's going to take a photo of. There's not much action to take any photos of, I'm afraid. A big bomb that missed. The bell sounds. Completion of the fight.
They're buddies.
Absolutely.
They've done nothing to be angry with each other about, have they, mate?
Unless we're asking each other where they're going to have a beer later. I think they would. The Canadians just seemed happy to survive.
Decision, ladies and gentlemen, give the fighters a round of applause. Judges have scored 95-90, 90-97, 94-92. The winner and still Commonwealth heavyweight champion.
I don't think there was much heart stopping there, mate. It was pretty much foregone conclusion of who would take that bout as he shakes Mum's hand.
There's one good thing about this, the most important thing about this is that Graham Barker now becomes the second-rated heavyweight kickboxing in the world.
Oh, that's an interesting point and something I didn't realise. He's got a lot of work to do, but a lot of work to do if he wants to take that world title. It's going to require a very intense program in the gym. The biggest problem he's going to run into, it was a split decision as we call it, but the biggest thing he's going to run into is getting quality sparring partners out here in Australia. There's not too many fellows that can work out with
I've
Barker.
noticed one good...
Big hug from Mum there, mate.
Oh, Mum, yes. Mum's always at his side. As I was saying, I've noticed a good sparring partner for him in the crowd. Stan the Man's in the crowd.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Maybe this is a setup for a big clash between these Australia's two premier heavyweights.
We know that Stan had a crack at the Worlds, but unfortunately the world title eluded him.
McDonald from Canada, very, very cagey customer. He come here to take that title back and he's come a long way. He's a great fighter and a very nice man. I'd like to thank everybody for coming tonight. I'm the number 2 contender in the world now. I'm going to keep trying hard and hope that everybody will keep supporting. I'd like to hang around and the main event's going to be a great fight, ladies and gentlemen. So be prepared for a war. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm McDonald's coach. I'd just like to congratulate Commonwealth champion. He put up an incredible fight. We were training for him to be a boxer. We're blown away that he could kick so good. Congratulations.
He's a great sport, this trainer, this Canadian.
He seems as happy as hell that his boys survived 10 rounds. I can't believe it.